All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back just a few short days away here from Blaze of Glory Part 2. And the match that everybody's talking about, not just in Wrestling Championship Entertainment, but all around the world here, that 30-minute Iron Man match. And for that Interstate Openweight Championship between our reigning defending champion, James Marshall, and Nicholas Crenson. And we're going to talk about an added stipulation plus much, much more. And this is one of the biggest matches I've had the chance to speak about here on Sportswire Radio, maybe ever. So let's cut to the chase. And with further ado here on the Sports Report, number one, Rebel Sports Show. Pro Wrestling Stars here from Wrestling Championship Entertainment. That is the Psycho Wolf, Nicholas Crenson, and our reigning, defending, interstate, openweight champion in Wrestling Championship Entertainment, the unhinged James Marshall. Guys, how we doing tonight?
Doing good, Reverend Tom.
Doing good as well.
Well, you're the champion. You got to be doing good because remember, being the champ means interviews, means the girls, press conferences, magazine covers, Nicholas Crenson desires, all of that stuff here. And certainly here on Sportswire Radio, we spoke quite a bit about this match this past Saturday. And before we get into obviously some final words, the added stipulation, I wanted to get reactions from what you guys heard from Craven Rage, the Wisconsinite Universal Grand Slam champion, and JDT. And I'll go with Nicholas Crenson first because certainly JDT had some things to say about you, and he kind of liked you in this match a little bit here. So talk to me about reactions from what JDT and Craven Rage had to say about you before Blaze of Glory Part 2.
Craven doesn't surprise me. Craven never surprises me. He's basically the same old trick over and over and over again. We'll leave that to that. Now, okay. JDT did kind of surprise me, but, how do I say this? Assholes know assholes better than anybody, and he is a big, giant asshole, and so am I. And I'll say this, JDT, he might have picked right, because I plan on winning, and James, me and you, we can go back and forth over and over again. You can say you're going to shut me out. I can say I'm going to make you eat your words. But for all intents purposes, we won't know until that bell rings and that 30 minutes is up who is right. And, that's the interesting thing when you think about it. Because if you think about it, 30 minutes doesn't seem a lot. But then you put it into seconds, and it's about 1,800 seconds total. 30 minutes is a long time to be in a ring.
Oh, it's definitely a long time. And I think about when I was in school, and classes would be, I guess, 43 minutes it usually was, right? And I would go from the first minute, I would be in my seat, and I would be counting down. So you better believe that's going to be a long time. But before I get to the champ in a second, the reason I found it interesting also in the fact that JDT was picking me to win this match is because, well, your name, I'm sure you're well aware of, is on his chair, but certainly we saw another victim of at Blaze of Glory Part 1 in the Picture of Perfection. It was really no longer the Picture of Perfection. That's Kodak Kid, and of course, we'll get to Kodak Kid when the champ responds in a second here, but I mean, that had to have really surprised you because, again, you were a victim of JDT, and certainly you're on that chair, and you're definitely somebody that I'm sure that he definitely feels pretty good about it in terms of having your name on his chair.
Yeah, the irony of that, the fact that I'm on that chair, is the fact that I used that chair to beat him in the Last Man Standing match. So the irony is he's got my name on that chair. He's got Kodak's name on that chair. And then he's got, I believe Dash Andrews' name should be on that chair too, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, it was weird because Part 1 it only showed, I think, 2 names on the chair. Which
it was 2 names, now that I checked. Oh no, that he got that chair after he dealt with Dash. Ah, it's kind of funny and apropos that he's got all those names on the chair. He's collecting names. And the chairman of WC, if you'd like to say.
Oh, okay. Well, he's definitely a chairman of something. Okay, I'll give you that
yes. One. But it's funny because JDT is, mostly associated with James and with Craven. But I also notice is he just kind of goes where the money goes. And
yep.
A mercenary is a mercenary. They don't really have loyalties, and he is kind of a mercenary. He does what he wants to do. He makes his choices. He picked me, and he knows both me and James are probably two of the hardest hitting wrestlers in WCE. I'd almost, I'll give it to James. He probably hits harder than anybody, especially his fatality form. It does not come without a price. Every time he hits it, you feel it. And like with that gauntlet match, congratulations on that, James. Darkfire felt the full force.
What was Darkfire even thinking going out there? I was like, what was some of these guys that went out there? And we'll get to the champ in a second. I'm like, what are these guys thinking? Either they were going to have a match, or in the case of Kodak Kid, they got their butts kicked. And I'm like, what's wrong with these guys?
Honestly, what else would you be thinking when you have this opportunity? If you have the opportunity to be a champion, it doesn't matter if it's impossible odds. You're still going to take that chance.
Maybe. But there comes a certain point where you have to put in some sort of common sense and logic. And clearly, some opponents there had logic, others did not. But let's get to the champion, because obviously I've spent a few minutes here with Nicholas Crenson, and Champ, obviously good to be with you here. Obviously, we're just a few short days away from your next defense, and I did want to get your reactions to what JDT had to say about the match and anything else on your mind.
Well, he says he goes where money is good, then who can blame him? I would do the same thing. But okay. if he does anything to, get in me or Craven's way, a Roman dog would be put down. Simple as that.
We did see dog references at the last interview there between Craven and himself, so there was some dog references there, and I did notice that you also brought the dog reference there. But I mean,
we're reservoir dogs. What do you expect?
True, fair enough. I certainly could see all that here, but I mean, did it surprise you at all that maybe JDT had picked Crenson, especially after, I guess, this sort of relationship that you guys have or were building? I mean, he did talk about, as you pointed out, he goes with the money, but I mean, I would have thought that he would have been loyal, because Crenson himself was even a little bit surprised that JDT picked him in this match. Not that it matters, right? But I mean, still, what do you think?
That did catch me by surprise, really. It did. And I don't know what he's thinking, but me, Craven, and JDT, we'll talk our business behind closed doors, and it's not going to concern any one of you. I'll keep it at that.
Fair enough. Well, let me ask you then a follow-up, though. Did you ever notice anything where he had maybe anything dissension towards you, or anything that maybe you felt that he didn't agree with some of the decisions you and Craven made? Did you ever notice any tension at all?
Honestly, I didn't sense any tension at all. But like I said, it kind of caught me by surprise what he said in the last interview last Saturday, I believe. If my memory serves me correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
Correct. You were definitely correct. No question about that here.
Yeah, it caught me really by surprise, because honestly, he's kind of a lone wolf. We don't really interact outside the ring, because everyone has their own personal lives.
Sure.
Yeah.
But you guys are very, very busy people. You guys are big stars, and you're constantly having to deal with the press. You're constantly having to deal with the fans from all around the world trying to get a piece of you guys. So certainly I could understand all that here. And if you do like what you hear, from Wrestling Championship Entertainment. I want to make sure that we all follow WCE. That's WCEHeat.com for more information on Blaze of Glory Part 2. Also, WCE Heat on Facebook to like Wrestling Championship Entertainment's page. Also, Wrestling Championship Entertainment on YouTube, where you can watch those shows like Red, White, and Bruise and Spirit in the Sky and Blaze of Glory Part 1, which is now up. Definitely go out there and make sure you watch it. I've watched it not once but twice, and make sure Part 2 you watch when it airs. And this Saturday, the boys are going to be action, and what a card it's going to be. And, of course, the main event here for the Interstate Openweight Championship, James Marshall's title, 30-minute Ironman match, the Psycho Wolf Nicholas Crenson versus the unhinged James Marshall, our reigning defending champion here. But, Nicholas Crenson, let's come back to you, because obviously I know I've asked you this question before, but now that there are a few short days away here from the bell and the main event, and I wanted to ask you on a personal level before we come back to some of the comments and the stipulation that we have here while we have you guys for a short time. I mean, are you training differently? I mean, how's training been? I mean, I have to ask, because are you eating different? Are you sleeping differently? Because, like you said, 30 minutes is a long time, 1,800 seconds. I mean, are you doing anything or feel any different this last week?
Basically, I've been walking a few miles per day, trying to get my cardio up. Other than that, I'm not doing anything really that different from what I do normally when I train for a match. And that's not a knock on James, but I train the same in every match. It's just doing more cardio, because that's basically the main thing with this type of match. You have to have cardio.
I figured that, and that reminds me again, I hate to bring it back up, but the Iron Man match, WrestleMania 12, and I still remember, I think it was what Bret Hart was on top of the mountain, and he was going around, and Shawn Michaels was doing the boxing with Jose Lothario. I don't know if you guys remember those Monday Night Raws where they would show the training. That reminds me here. I think somebody in management should have wound up doing like some training videos with you guys. I would have loved to have seen that, but that was an idea that I had probably too late. Maybe I should have suggested it a couple weeks ago. But for you, Champ, I mean, are you training any different? Do you feel any different here these last few days or going into Saturday? I mean, talk to me about that.
Well, I've been feeling the same, but the only thing different the only thing I'm doing different is I'm practicing on hitting harder.
You hit hard already to begin with. You hit hard already to begin with.
But I am planning to hit even harder. That way I can actually knock Nicholas Crenson's head clean off his shoulders.
Wow. Well, you did say that you were going to shut him out, and now you're going to knock him off his shoulders. And I have to ask you a follow-up question, because I thought about this while I was watching your Open Challenge. And tell me your thoughts on this, because in a way, I kind of think, even though we'll go back to what Crenson did after all the matches where you won, but in some way or another, I kind of feel like you have an advantage because you actually wrestled not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times here. And going into something like this, to have wrestled 4 times the way you did against 4 different opponents, I would have to think that that gives you a little bit of an advantage because you were in the ring, I mean, probably close to like 30 minutes. I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, it does give me a little bit of advantage. It shows Crenson that I am prepared to take on just about anyone, no matter what style of wrestling you throw at me. Whether you're a high flyer, a slugger, brawler, mat technician, I don't care what you throw at me. I will shut you down.
You definitely will, and that reminds me of the... Yep, go ahead.
Also, I'd like to add about what he did after the match. Crenson, you... same old tricks, like what you pulled at Vindication. With the mask, being a referee. You sly son of a bitch.
But didn't you, if we saw this at Vindication, before I get to Crenson, to come back to you, I mean, did you ever have an inclination that, hey, this could be Crenson? Because I'm watching this, right, and I'm trying to figure it out, because there's a referee with the mask on, right? He's got this mask on, and he looks a little bit, at least in moves, but you have to say, all right, still got to give it benefit of the doubt. Maybe it's a new referee. Maybe it's a referee who knows, had facial surgery or some whatever, right? Whatever it might have been, right? And you didn't have any inclination, though, that it could have been Crenson? Like, what was going on through your mind with this referee, this new referee here?
He felt a little off during the whole gauntlet match. I admit that. I didn't think nothing of it. It felt a little off, but I had tunnel vision at the time. Yeah, I
All
did
right.
nothing. Never thought twice of it. But when the final bell rang, hand me the belt, he didn't give it. I knew something was off. I'm like, what's going on? And then face reveal. I'm like, not again. Like I said, same old tricks.
SOS is the acronym, and you can fill in the blanks for those that are watching and listening what that is. But I mean, Mr. Crenson, I mean, obviously you did pull a fast one on the champ, and you were able to hold your composure. Got to give you credit on the fact that you were able to do something like that. Funny one there. You were certainly able to do something there that certainly got the champ there off his game a little bit. You do technically have, I guess, the advantage going into this here, but I mean, like, how are you able to pull this off? I mean, how are you even able to get? Did management know? I mean, how would this all happen?
So to correct you, Tom, really in a match like this, truly nobody has the advantage until the final belt rings, because really it's a match where you can't say you have an advantage at first until the bell rings. But secondly, I wasn't supposed to be. I originally wasn't supposed to be there, and something happened, and I ended up there. And I was thinking, like, I wanted to confront James, but I also wanted to see what he would do. And then I heard he was going to do an open challenge, so I decided, why don't we find the ref that we were originally going to have for that match and kind of choke him out, steal his shirt, put on the Halloween mask, and just see. And I'm kind of sad that James actually fell for this same old trick a second time. And, am I going to use that again? Maybe, but I think that trick's been done to death, so I think I'm going to leave that aside for now. But it was more just to get a ringside view or ref's eye view of James in the ring and see what he can do with everybody. Because here's a little tidbit. You can know how to beat everybody. You can know how to beat somebody. The trick is actually beating them. Like, I know a bunch of ways I can beat James. The trick is actually doing it. James knows a bunch of ways he can beat me. The trick is actually doing it. I know a bunch of ways to beat Sean Jovi. I know a bunch of ways to beat Craven. He has the belt. He has the Wisconsinite title because the trick is beating him. You can know how to do something. The trick is actually doing it.
Well, we're going to certainly find out. I'll tell you that much here. Coming up this weekend, we are going to find out in a Blaze of Glory Part 2. Once again here, and of course our main event for that Interstate Openweight Championship here. And let's go now into the stipulation, because obviously we've gotten all that stuff out of the way here. We obviously realize that both of you guys only have a certain amount of time here, and also this is a very, very big match that is going to change the landscape of not only WCU, but your careers here for sure. And obviously, let's now talk about the added stipulation here that if both of you guys have the same amount of pinfalls or submissions at the end of the 30 minutes, that there will be a sudden death until whoever gets that first pinfall, submission, or a ref stoppage will win the match. Champ, your thoughts on this wrinkle here to the match, and does this favor you? Does this give you an added boost? I mean, what's your feelings on this stipulation added to the main event of your title?
It doesn't worry me at all, because there's not going to be any sudden death or whatever you want to call it, because I'm going to shut him out, plain and simple. I am going to annihilate him. He's going to beat me. Is he going to really put one over on me? False.
All right, well, you've come on with the little, pictures there. You've definitely come here prepared to Sportzwire Radio, so I appreciate that we're able to make this happen here. I'm definitely excited that you did your homework, and Mr. Crenson, obviously, we just got the champ's perspective on the we got the champ's added perspective here on the added stipulations, and How does this impact you then going into Saturday afternoon?
It doesn't. Because James can say he's going to shut me out all he wants, and the trick is he has to actually do it. And James, you know I've made a history of making people eat their words when they doubt me, and I plan on doing that to you. You see, you have to beat me more times than I have to beat you. That's simple. You have to get. You want to shut me out, so you want to get at least more pinfalls and have me have none, or more submissions and have me have none. Problem is, James, all your tricks, we know. All my tricks, you know. Even your new tricks, I can sort of predict them, and you can predict mine. So, the problem with this is, James, you hit hard, I hit hard. Who hits first, though? That's the real fun. Because I just have to hit you not once, not twice. I can hit you as many times with that rolling elbow, and you're going to be down for the count. I can hit you with a knee strike. You're going to be down. I can put you in the Wayne Brady special, and you'll be passed out. I have many ways to beat you, and you have many ways to beat me. So, do I worry about you saying that you're going to have a shutout? No, because irony is a cruel mistress, and I think this match is going to be pretty filled with irony when it comes to the end.
Well, we'll certainly find out here, and I have a comment here, and certainly this comment will go on here for the stickers, and it says, "I see those stickers finally found a use." LOL. Yeah, those stickers definitely have to say they've added something to tonight's show. You definitely have given us here some stickers. I mean, are you a sticker collector, by the way?
No, that's a gift from my girlfriend.
Oh,
Thanks,
okay.
babe.
Oh, well, you know what, though? You have a great girlfriend, then, because if your girlfriend gave you a gift like that, clearly she's in the business of doing what's best for you and everyone else that's watching tonight. But I want to come back to you, Nicholas Crenson, the Psycho Wolf, because I was thinking about this, and I always equate this to almost like an Iron Man match or the sudden death possibility. We've done a lot of hockey coverage here on Sportswire Radio. We've interviewed a lot of champion athletes, and I kind of feel like this match to me is on par with like the Super Bowl. It's on par with the World Series, the Stanley Cup, and you fill in the blanks because this is that big of a deal. This championship to me is the biggest prize in all of professional wrestling. Forget Roman's title. Forget about the ROH title I saw change hands. Forget about the AEW title that I saw with Punk and Moxley. Forget all that stuff. This is the title to me that is the greatest prize in all of professional wrestling, maybe in all of the world right now. So for you, Nicholas Crenson, and I always ask this question to athletes or anybody for a team, it's in a big moment. I feel like the first 5 minutes of this match is going to determine the outcome because here's why. In the first 5 minutes, if Marshall gets a 1 or even a 2 pinfall advantage, he might be right on here in the fact that he's going to just, all he's got to do is run out the clock. If he's up by 1 or even 2 in that first 5 minutes, it's like getting the first goal in a hockey game, or it's like getting the first touchdown early in the first quarter. He's got all the momentum. He's got everything right where he wants it. I mean, so I have to ask you, are you thinking right now that these first 5 minutes, it's got to be, you know what, I at least got to keep it 1-1 or 0-0, or even take that first pinfall lead because, as I pointed out, first 5 minutes, if the champ gets 1 or even 2 pinfalls, I think a lot of people are going to feel like the champ is going to retain. He's going to retain walking away.
So, you talk about the first 5 minutes. Honestly, in this situation, not really.
Okay.
Because, James knows me and I know James. I could, James could be, 3-0 up on me, and I can still get a pin on him within the last 10. I could still get up to him in the last 10 minutes. I could be up, 2-0 on James, and he could get 2 falls on me, or even 3 falls on me with the last, 4 minutes. It's not that easy to have an advantage in this type of sport than it is to say hockey, football, basketball, all that.
Okay.
Because because you are constantly in danger of getting pinned, getting submitted, having the referee call the bell for you on a technicality, you know. And, you know, there is one thing I do want to bring up here, and I think, you know, because we both have our group of people that we have behind us. You know, James obviously has kind of JDT and Craven on his side, and I have Sean Jovi, I have Darkfire. Kodak is away because, you know, he's away for this show.
Right.
But I want to bring up something, and James, I say, why don't we, you know, we got that stipulation, we have no holds barred, but why don't we leave this to me and you? Why don't we put all our our extras, all our friends, all of our confidants, and leave them in the back, leave them out in the back, because this is something that we've handled with each other for the past couple months here, and we need to handle this alone. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, I definitely agree. We need to sell this once and for all. It's been going on for far too long.
Plus, I think you'd agree that that belt deserves a straight up, no questions asked winner.
I agree.
I think, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first on Sportswire Radio tonight. Forget about JDT, Craven Rage. Forget about Sean Jovi and Darkfire or anybody else that might be on the sides of our reigning defending interstate openweight champion James Marshall and the Psycho Wolf Nicholas Crenson. They're going to settle it clean. They're going to settle it in the middle of the ring here. And that's why we cannot wait one more time for the main event, 30-minute Ironman match, for that championship that James Marshall is holding. That is the richest prize in all of not only professional wrestling, but all of sports, this championship. This is the prize that people from all over the world want. Listen, Aaron Rodgers wants it. Tom Brady wants it. Listen, Aaron Judge wants it. Albert Pujols. Listen, everybody you name, Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid, Roman Reigns, you name an athlete, you name actors even. They say they want this championship. They say that they want to see a winner fair and square. We're going to get that here this coming Saturday. These are reasons why you also need to go over to WCEHeat.com for more information. You need to go also to WCE Heat on Facebook for more information. Also, Sportswire Radio at Sportswire Radio on Facebook, and 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You can listen to all of our great content on sportnarium.com/player, and we will be playing some brand new music in a little while after we're off the air. That'll only be for sportnarium.com/player, because I have in my possession the brand new Megadeth album. So I look forward to playing some of that. We'll play some of the tracks that'll be after we're off the air. So we figure, listen, main event. Hey, you know what? I got the album. Somebody gave it to me. I said, you know what? We'll play the album on sportnarium.com/player. So if you want to hear it, and you can certainly get that opportunity, I'll play it a couple of more times throughout the weekend. So I look forward to doing that. But in the meantime, here we're here for a little more while here with Nicholas Crenson and James Marshall. And before I get to you guys' closing thoughts here and some final words for each other, I wanted to ask, since we did predictions for your match, I wanted to get your thoughts on who comes away with the victory for Craven Rage's Wisconsin Universal Grand Slam Championship here. So certainly I'll go with Mr. Crenson first, and Sean Jovi's got some momentum, but Craven Rage is definitely the ruler of that yard, and he's always impressive in his wins. And Nicholas Crenson wanted to get your thoughts on who will come away with Craven Rage's Universal Grand Slam Wisconsinite Championship, and anything else on your mind between Sean Jovi, the resident rock star, and Craven Rage.
So, you know, I love Sean like a little brother, and he is definitely hell bent on you know, taking that title from Craven, or titles, silly two belt situation. Anyway, so this is a kind of a tough one to call, because, you know, Sean does have that win on Craven, and Craven's just been dominant over and over again. I almost think it will come down to the very last second, The irony of me saying something's coming down in the last second when it's not even an Iron Man match; it's the 3 doors down match. And I mean that in a split second, momentum can change, and Sean's been training hard. He's been doing his best, but something with Craven, he has this ability to change the tide just like that. You know, if you let him get momentum, or if you give him that one opportunity, he will end the match. And I love Sean to death, but I have to say I kind of have to go with Craven on this one.
All right. Well, certainly I can't argue with that, or anybody
And I
else
hate
can't
saying
either.
that.
Well, he's been on quite a run, and you've certainly seen it firsthand, and pretty much almost everybody else has here. And Champ, I almost have to ask you, when are you getting 2 belts? Because technically, you're the interstate openweight champion. So wouldn't that mean you'd be getting like an interstate championship and an openweight championship? But certainly, that's an issue for management that they'll have to deal with at a later date. But who do you think comes away with the victory here in Craven Rage and Sean Dovey in the 3 doors down match for Craven's title?
As much as I hate the guy's inflated ego and him being on Jovi Island, yeah, he is on a roll. He does. I have to agree with Crenson. He does have that one victory over Craven, but Craven uses that as fuel to his fire over the past year, this season. And ever since we started back up the Crown Achievements, he's been dominant. And Crenson felt firsthand since then. And no matter whoever goes in front of Craven, they fall right down. So I had to give it to Craven for this one.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I mean, it's very, very hard to argue here the run that Craven Rage has been on here. And certainly, other than your run, I mean, it's really been no other wrestler in all of professional wrestling has had the run that Craven Rage is on. And certainly, I'm sure we'll get his opinions very soon after the outcome of the match here. And of course, Tim Franklin is back with us as always, and he says, Sportswire Radio, welcome to the WCE Hour evening time, guys. Yeah, I think at this point, we either call it the WCE Takeover or WCE Power Hour, whatever at this point we call it. So I think that's almost kind of been Wednesdays have been our regular spot. Sometimes we do a show in between a Monday or a Saturday, but we love covering wrestling championship entertainment. We love everybody that's tuned in here also, and make sure you go to WCEheat.com where you can find out more information, all the stuff here. So definitely I could see why Craven would be picked. But let's get to final words here for both sides. So I'm going to go with Nicholas Crenson first here, the Psycho Wolf. And this is your chance here because I know we're a few short days away from Blaze of Glory Part 2. And this is the last chance you're going to get to say anything to James Marshall, public, live, face-to-face, before Saturday afternoon at the WCE Heat Universe in the arena where everybody sees everything. I mean, that universe is going to be pumped. It's going to be packed. It's going to be loud. It's going to be like no other crowd here. Forget about WrestleMania 38, 39, 40, 41 combined put together. Blaze of Glory Part 2 is going to beat that and some. So, Psycho Wolf, I want to give you the floor. Any final words you have for James Marshall? Anything you want to say to him? The floor is yours.
All right, before I get to James and that here, I will say with that prediction on the Jovi Craven match, I kind of hope that I'm wrong, but I have a feeling I won't be. But as for the interstate title, James Marshall and the 30-minute no holds barred Iron Man match, there is just one thing I like to say, and that's 6,073 days. That is the last time I won a top title. It's been 6,073 days. January 21st, 2006, I was 17 years old, and I beat Damon Knight for the YWL GYW Undisputed Heavyweight title. That is a long time.
Wow! You were 17 and a world champion. What's happened since?
Life happened.
Fair
That's a
point.
long
Trust
time
me,
to
I understand.
go without a title, and time is not kind to people. So James, me and you, 30 minutes, you say you're gonna shut me out. I dare you to do it, because guess what? I am hungry like a wolf, I'm ready to be a champion again. And I want that title. Because, you know, I could go at, I could have just gone after Craven and tried to get the Wisconsinite title again. Because, honestly, like I said, I know how to beat people. It's just the trick is beating them. And I'm not going to make the same mistake I made with Craven before. But I want the interstate title because, no offense to Craven Rage, but that is the top title in
It's a pretty
WCW.
belt. It's a very pretty belt. I will not lie.
That is the title that signifies that you are the top dog, that you are the best wrestler in WCE, that you know how to fight, and that when we win it, it's deserved. Because when Pierce won it the first time, he fought like hell to win it. When James beat Pierce for it, he had to literally kill him to win it. So that belt represents wrestling as a whole. So, James, I know you're going to bring the fight to me, and I know for sure you're going to try their damnedest to shut me out. But don't worry, I'm going to bring the fight to you, and I'm going to make it a hell of a lot harder for you to accomplish your goal. So, maybe you'll have to just be satisfied with beating me without shutting me out, or maybe you'll have to be the end to that 6,073 day drought.
All right, there. Before I get to the champ, I have a couple of more comments, so let me get to those before I get to the champ's final words. Crenson versus Marshall, which one of the two wants it the most? And is this indeed the final chapter? Well, I don't know. I don't know that answer. I don't know. And Craven versus Jovi, who will finally bring the three doors down? Again, I don't know. But I'll tell you what I do know about that, Tim Franklin, before I get to the champ, is that's why you need to watch Wrestling Championship Entertainment. You need to subscribe to the YouTube page. You need to go to WCEHeat.com. You need to go to WCE Heat on Facebook and like Wrestling Championship Entertainment. Make sure you support the guys in everything that they do. And, of course, Liz as well in management and everybody that's involved here. And also, he says here, and at the card video, is he finally coming? Guess we have to wait. Yeah, you know what? That's a good one. A lot of people have been talking about that. Is he finally coming? I don't know that answer. That's why you need to watch Blaze of Glory Part 2. That's why you need to find out, because we don't tell you here. We don't spoil it like other shows on Sportzwire or anywhere else. We make sure that you need to go to WCEHeat.com for more information. Subscribe to the YouTube page. But the champ, obviously the Psycho Wolf, has had a lot to say here about this match and you and everything else. So I'm going to give you the floor before we get to closing thoughts here tonight. And what do you want to say as your final words for everybody watching and listening, whether they're a Wrestling Championship Entertainment fan, a Sportswire fan of yours, anywhere else, and your final remarks to Nicholas Crenson before you finally face off with him in the ring one more time at Blaze of Glory Part 2.
Part 2 is around the corner, Crenson. All I gotta say is 3 words, and might be gimmick infringements. Just bring it. And guess what? You better bring a body bag.
Well, you might want to find one. I guess maybe Target sells them. I don't know, but I won't encourage that. But that just might be an idea. And Tim says he'll definitely be there. I tell you what, Tim, certainly let us know. I'm sure next week we will have more coverage of Blaze of Glory Part 2 and get us ready for Fight or Fright. So it's right around the corner. Listen. Time flies. Time definitely flies, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like it was yesterday. I was first covering Spirit in the Sky and Red, White, and Bruised, and now here we are here. And he also says, Flame On, Part 2, Blaze of Glory, it's on. Oh, baby. It is definitely. You know what? Forget about college football this week. Everybody's talking about college football, NFL Week 1. Brewers are still kind of hanging around in the playoff race. Forget about all that. It's Blaze of Glory Part 2 that you want to watch. They're warming us up here. Forget about All Out, Clash at the Castle. This is the main event here. Mr. Crenson, did you want to say something before we get to closing thoughts?
Yeah, there is one thing, an interesting thing that I just thought of as, we're talking all over the place here. You and me, James, we've been doing this a long time, and you kind of have the advantage in our matches. But there is one thing that kind of just dawned on me, and that is, you got Craven and Jovi, and the fact is that you and Jovi are neck and neck when it comes to facing each other.
Really? Really? Really?
Yeah, one-on-one, both of you have a win over each other, and you've only faced twice, so that is something that is kind of interesting when we think about WCE and our anniversary. The irony of our first season starting with Jovi and you, James, and I wonder where we're going to end this year.
Well, we have one more show after Blaze of Glory Part 2. I mean, stay tuned is all I could say, ladies and gentlemen. Anything can happen out there. And Tim also says, let the flames begin. Well, the flame is definitely burning still for a little while longer. We're going to get some warmer weather for a little while longer, and let those flames begin. And it's all going to start here and come to an end here. For now, Blaze of Glory Part 2 this Saturday. But let's get to everybody's here closing thoughts. So I want to go with Nicholas Crenson first because he is the challenger technically. So I want to give you the floor, the Psycho Wolf Nicholas Crenson. Anything you want to plug, anything you want to share, say, and I obviously can't thank you enough for giving us this opportunity to speak with you just days before arguably the biggest match of your career, where your career could turn quicker than the New York Minute and get your first world championship in almost 17 years. Is a lot on the line for you, so I appreciate the opportunity, and everyone else does. So I turn it over to you, my friend. Anything you want to plug, share, say, and the floor is yours.
Obviously, you've already plugged the WCE pages, YouTube, and all that stuff. I would actually, just for the heck of it, I'd like to plug my YouTube channel where I play games and all that stuff. It's called Hello Folks. It's Endiku, which is, and Endiku is spelled ENDIKU. Just play video games on there, have fun, and, just try to enjoy myself. Other than that, James, this Saturday, we're going to kick each other's asses, and we're going to beat the holy hell out of each other for 30 minutes, and it is going to be beautiful violence, and I am looking forward to it, and I know you are too.
All right, and certainly make sure, Mr. Crenson, that you do send me a link to the YouTube page. When we get off the air, I'll make sure to subscribe, and anything we can do to promote that. And obviously, we look forward to watching some of those videos, and obviously wish you a lot of luck here. But the champ, I give you the floor. I give you final thoughts, anything else you want to share, say, and obviously I can't thank you enough for this opportunity, and the floor is yours, and you have the final words here from anybody in Wrestling Championship Entertainment here before Part 2 of Blaze of Glory. So the floor is yours.
Yeah, since Crenson is plugging his YouTube channel, I could plug in my channel.
Yes.
It's called WZW Animations. No relation to the WZW that's in New York or whatever. That's an entirely different thing.
Yep.
I do a bunch of gaming streams, gaming videos, and also stop motion animation.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I saw you were playing with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles the other day on Facebook. You were showing some videos of that. Was it Ninja Turtles, I think I saw?
Yeah, the first one.
Yep, I saw it. Then I think it was Pokemon also in there, I think, last week?
No, I don't play Pokemon anymore.
Okay. Well, I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually, there was a time when I was in college. I used to play. I was a fanatical Yu-Gi-Oh! Player. I had the decks. I had the whole thing, and I spent so much money on being a kind of okay Yu-Gi-Oh! Player. But that was a long time ago, and I don't think I'd be half the Yu-Gi-Oh! Player I was. And I wasn't even half the good player then. But certainly as well, if you want to DM me your YouTube page, I'm happy to subscribe, happy to share and promote that, and I can't wait to watch all those videos here. So obviously looking forward to that, and also looking forward most importantly to this match, which I cannot stress enough again. It's going to be one of the best matches of the year. Dave Meltzer is going to rate this not only 5 stars, he's going to rate it 6 out of 5 stars because clearly this is the match that I'm waiting for. So the Sportswire Radio Wrestling Newsletter is going to give this match of the year. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be worth it. I can't wait. And ladies and gentlemen, we were joined here tonight on Sportswire Radio, the #1 global radio station, with the Psycho Wolf, Nicholas Crenson, just days before his 30-minute Ironman match with our interstate openweight champion, James Marshall. And there's an added wrinkle here to this match here is that if they're tied after 30 minutes, we go to sudden death till we get a winner by pinfall, submission, or referee stoppage. So very, very excited about all that. One more time, WCEHeat.com for more information on anything, whether it's roster, transactions, news, merchandise, links, you name it, all is there on WCEHeat.com. That is the Wrestling Championship Entertainment website. Also, WCE Heat on Facebook as well. And also subscribe to that YouTube page, Wrestling Championship Entertainment. And if you are on Sportswire Radio right now on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, in about 10 or 15 minutes from now, I will play the brand new Megadeth album. So if you do like Megadeth and you want to hear something different, I will be playing the album. Maybe I'll add some commentary. We'll see. But in the meantime, you'll get to enjoy some of the music. And I'm looking forward to it. It's actually my first dab at hearing some of the music. So I'm looking forward to that. I know it's done very well out there. And also, if you are on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn, I'll be back Friday live. I will have on the natural born fighter, R.P. Davis, who's going to be fighting Big Guns Joe, who is on the WWE Network for the KOW Road to Go, their tournament to crown their own world champion. And also, he will have been in the ring with TNT's Shreddy for their championship there. So looking forward to that. And also, Wildfire Nate Reese. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. We were joined with Nicholas Crenson and the Interstate Openweight Champion of Wrestling Championship Entertainment. That is James Marshall. I am the host of the Sports Report, the station manager of Sportswire Radio, the Reverend Tom Bryson on sportnarrative.com/player. In about 10 minutes, you'll get the brand new Megadeth album. So looking forward to playing that for you. Thank you, everybody. Good night. For now, we'll be back here soon on the #1 global radio station, and that is Dunder Mifflin Apparel Company. Is that correct? Dunder Mifflin Apparel Company. All right.
Yep.
So plug that. If you can like it on Facebook, YouTube, just do it because he's the champion. He gets the right to plug it. Thank you, everybody. I'll be back here in a few minutes, so hang on tight, and we'll be back.